Alrighty, fanboys and fangirls, the wait is over. The foldable iPhone is in development, and according to Ming-Chi Kuo, it is coming in 2 years, and I'll explain to you what that potential 2-year wait could bring us and more. Also on today's episode, the iPad Mini 6 is reportedly in the works, but it is delayed. I'll explain how long it is delayed. Also on today's episode, a new HiFi Apple Music subscription service is in the works, along with the new AirPods, but hold the brakes. We gotta talk about the source and talk about where this is coming from because it sounds a little too good to be true. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. YouTube, what's poppin'? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. I hope you're doing well, hope you're all staying safe. Anyway, again, today's episode is full of Apple news story. As you can see, Apple is what pays the bills around here. I'm just playing. But anyway, guys, welcome back. It is great to see you all. Now, today's episode is a little late. If you guys are watching this tomorrow, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're watching it right now, a little later than my usual schedule. So thank you guys for watching if you've made it this time of the night. All that out of the way, let's get it going. So story number one, the main story, the one that everybody has been talking about, the foldable iPhone. Now, there have been talks and reports that Apple wasn't interested in making a foldable device right away. There were reports saying that Apple was going to wait and they were going to do it in 2024, 2025. Well, according to Ming-Chi Kuo, he has come out and said that the new foldable iPhone is reportedly in development from Apple. Not his report, but in Apple, they are developing and working on it as we speak, and the report says it will be in 2023. According to Ming-Chi Kuo, here's what he says exactly. Based on our latest industry survey, we forecast that Apple will likely launch a foldable iPhone with an 8-inch QHD Plus flexible OLED display in 2023, with SDC as the exclusive display supplier and Samsung as the exclusive DDI foundry provider. Based on Apple's request, we predict the foldable iPhone shipments will reach 15 to 20 million units in 2023. We expect that the foldable iPhone will adopt the silver nanoware touch solution because of its several advantages over the SDC's Y-Octa technology. Kuo then goes on and explains that the product's position of the foldable smartphone is mainly to integrate the smartphone and tablet. But we believe that the foldable smartphone is only one of many foldable designs that Apple will have up their sleeves, and Apple will be the biggest winner in the new foldable trend. So basically the long-term effect of that statement is that Apple is reportedly working on multiple different foldables based off of the first one that they released, and that they will be making reportedly 15 to 20 million foldables in 2023 going into 2024. They will announce it in 2023, but it won't be able to begin until 2024 respectively, if the timeline serves us well. Now, putting everything aside, basically everything else that was discussed by Kuo is Samsung will reportedly not be doing the displays. It will be a different provider, but they will use Samsung's technology for the foldable adhesive and other things. But the main takeaway from this is that this foldable from Apple, and we can see this coming from a mile away. I'm not trying to discredit what Samsung has done because Samsung has done a tremendous job of really expanding the market with foldables and really trying to push the innovation with foldable technology. But if you guys know anything about Apple and you know anything about the Apple effect, anything that Apple does, they do it better. Well, not exactly. This is just the philosophy. They do it better because they wait, they see how things go, they do it indoors instead of outdoors like Samsung did when they first released, and then it becomes a huge hit. And that's exactly what Kuo is predicting. They are predicting that Apple will be one of the biggest sellers for the foldables because it's Apple. Anytime Apple does anything, if you guys don't believe me, let's take a look at the timeline. iOS 13, iOS 13 dark mode. Everybody been clamoring for Apple, the whole world went crazy about it versus when Android had it before. Then we look at the little scribble on the keypad with iOS 13. Again, Samsung and Androids had that, but when Apple does it, everybody snaps. Let's take a look at the iPhone. If you guys don't believe me with the iPhones, look at the sales. The iPhone 12, the basic OLED display model with general okay specs, selling millions by the millions. And then to round it all off, their services, Apple Music, Apple TV, Apple Arcade, iCloud, everything. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that anything that Apple does is going to beat anybody's expectations. And that's what Quo is really saying. This foldable 8-inch display is going to be obviously a 2-in-1, but there are more expectations from this device that we're not knowing at the moment. So there are more details going to come. But overall, the foldable iPhone is probably going to be Apple's biggest game changer to their smartphone lineup. But again, I'm not discrediting anything that Samsung and other companies are working on, because they have done a tremendous job of starting the path. So we have to give credit where credit is due. But if we're looking at this from an Apple perspective, you know they're going to market the hell out of this phone. You know they're going to price it probably a little bit higher than most other foldables, but they're going to sell a crap ton. So that's just Apple, that's the fan base, and that's nothing we can argue. But if you're excited for the foldable iPhone, let me hear your thoughts down below. Alrighty, story number 2, keeping up with Apple, let's talk about the Apple Watch. Now, the Apple Watch on itself, again, is just an incredible piece of technology. There is nothing I can say or anything that I can do to really amplify how important of a device the Apple Watch is. It is just a great product all around for Apple. It sells well. I'm not the biggest fan of the screen, but that's really what makes it the Apple Watch. Well, if you really thought that it couldn't get any better, it probably will, because according to a couple of reports that I've already discussed in the past, there have been some patents that Apple has received in which they are detecting non-invisible optical sensors for detecting multiple blood-related health metrics, including blood pressure, blood glucose, and blood alcohol level, which is normally detected with medical equipment. Now, Rockley's Distribution is the company that Apple is working on making these sensors. While there is no official word when they're going to come, the rumors have indicated that the upcoming Series 7 would gain the glucose monitoring, but they may indicate that it could be delayed to 2022. And I have to agree with that statement because, you know, that's some really heavy advanced technology that I know for a fact is going to take years to multiply. Now, if you're saying it's going to happen this year, that's one thing if they were working on it previously. But if they're just getting a hold of these now, you can't expect it for the Series 7. I'd be shocked as all hell if they get it for the Series 7. But if I had to pick a realistic state, I'm going to agree with the statement that it comes in the next year model, the Series 8. And it's crazy to think that we're almost at Series 8. It was just yesterday we were on Series 3. Wow, I am that old. But anyway, overall, the Apple Watch, again, if you guys really think that anybody can top the Apple Watch, Apple just keeps proving it time and time again. As much as you can make 2 steps in the smartwatch industry, Apple will take 4 steps and they will continue to dominate. Now again, I like the Samsung Galaxy Watch. I'm hoping that Pixel gets their watch going. OnePlus just came out with their watch, and I love all their watches. But at the end of the day, nobody can come close to what Apple has done with watchOS and the Apple Watch as a whole. That is not a statement, that is a fact. Well, it's a statement fact. Alrighty, next story, let's talk about the Apple Music and AirPod rumor. Now this one is the one where I have to kind of question. Because even though I will report this story, I'm not so sure about the source, because this is kind of a weird claim and I'm not really buying it. But again, I have been proven wrong, so take this story with a grain of salt. But according to a rumor from Hits Double Daily, they say here that Apple is prepared to launch a new HiFi Apple Music tier coming in the coming weeks, which is also set to release the rumored 3rd generation AirPods. According to the report, the new tier will offer high-fidelity music streaming, will cost the same $9.99 as the current tier, and also it says here that the new AirPods will also launch alongside this new streaming platform. Now hold on. Just hold on 1 second. I can understand if they are going to release a high-fidelity, hi-fi, whatever you want to call it, hi-fi streaming service. I can get that. I could buy that because Spotify is doing it. But you're going to tell me that it's going to be in the coming weeks? I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. Because if we look at Apple's track records, they don't just randomly release products whenever they do it. Sure, there have been moments when they do it, but they do it along the lines for an event. Now, if you were to tell me that they would do this before an event like WWDC, so there are no expectations for hardware, maybe I might be able to believe you. But this is a very sketchy rumor, and I'm not so sure about the source on this. While I do believe the HiFi Apple Music tier, I don't believe it's going to be $9.99 because if you're going to offer high fidelity music, you have to upcharge and make some money back. You can't just offer it at $9.99, even though that is a great price. I would love that price. I know that's not realistic. And then you'd say the coming weeks for AirPods Gen 3? I'm sorry, but if I'm wrong by saying I don't believe this, I will fully come back to this episode and I'll say I am sorry. but I am not buying this story, especially from the source, but I'm also not buying that it's in the coming weeks. I'm sorry, Apple would not do that. But if they did, and if they are doing it, then I will get on my knees and say, I am sorry, I shouldn't have doubted you, whatever. So take this story with a little bit of grain of salt, but I do expect a HiFi Apple Music service to come later on, which is kind of sad because the only products that can really take advantage of it are the AirPod Pros and the AirPod Max. The HomePod could have, but Apple discontinued the HomePod. So, rip to the HomePod. And last story, the iPad Mini 6. Now, I'm a huge fan of the iPad Mini, and for a while, I've been saying it, and I've been saying it again, I want an iPad Mini. I love my Pro, I love what it can do, but there's something about a mini tablet that for me is just perfect. Well, Apple heard our cries because they are working on a Mini 6, but according to Ming-Chi Kuo, it is delayed until the second half of 2021, which is not a problem. I can perfectly wait. I'm not picky for that, but I probably wouldn't buy it right away anyway. But according to Kuo, it will be getting a slight tweak in the design. While it will retain the Touch ID, it will get slimmer bezels, very similar to what we saw with the iPad Pro or iPad Air, but it won't be exactly the design that we're accustomed to with the mini tablet. Instead, it will be very similar to, like I said, iPad Air, but it will not, and I repeat, it will not have a redesign. However, it is reported that it will have mini LEDs as the display foundation, and there's a report also that it will have an A13 Bionic chip to kind of help keep the cost down, but we'll have to wait and see how reliable that report is. So this is a long episode, so I'm not going to drag it out anymore, but all I'm going to say on the Mini 6 is I really like it. I think there is still a market for it. I think it's perfect for a child. If a child wants a mini iPad, it's very easy for small hands, but also it's convenient. You just pick it up, put your headphones, boom. But at that point though, you could argue that the budget iPad is also a good way to go, but you know what? I'll leave that up to you. I would like a mini iPad, but I already have a Pro, so kind of don't need it right now. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. It helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Again, a very long episode. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. Anyway guys, take care, stay safe, and